Hello everybody, my name is Orion and welcome to the Vault. Today we're playing The Roottrees Are Dead.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is gonna do anything to make the mic better, but at the very least, maybe it'll sound clearer. You know? I only just started the game a bit, so nothing really missed. Oh, text. What happened? The plane crashed last night near Pittsburgh. The only passengers were Carl, Roottree, his wife Brenda, and the three daughters known as the Roottrees sisters. Carl Rootree was the president of the Rootree Candy Company, and it's not clear who will succeed him. So far, the police are not sure what caused the crash. They're calling it one of the most deadly plane crashes in Pennsylvania's history. All passengers and crew perished. Pittsburgh is generally known for pleasant flying conditions, and the weather was not atypical for this time of year. We do not know much at this time, but our sources tell us local authorities do not suspect terrorism. The crash did not cause any local property damage, and fortunately nobody outside the plane was hurt. Funeral plans have not been announced, but you can be sure that the County Times will cover it to the best of our abilities. December 6th, 1998.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottrees and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottrees Company's lawyers are scrambling. Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for. I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were. I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Complete the Roottrees sisters. To-do list. Examine my evidence, search the internet for clues, fill names, fill in occupations, fill in photos. The person who hired you gave you this photo, a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees sisters' Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate, considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Rootree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important, so you can't make chocolate without it. Oh! Currently playing music. Gonna... do that. So you guys can hear everything a bit better. Slow burn. On the cool side, deep dive, cool cats. Hard boiled. Careful there. Groove. Double drift. On the ground. Clean soul. Babylon. Wow, this guy does a lot. Sorry. The list was provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need to find it to fill in the family tree. Something. First name Mystery, last name Eloise. Wait, no. Eloise. What? Welcome to Information Superhighway. Also questioning purchasing a new Cashew PC. Well, PC is equipped with 50,000 of a new 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web. Windows with high resolution images. If you find anything interesting, be sure to print it out. If you're including high-end color laser printer, or burn a music CD to listen to later. If you want to revisit a search result, you use Netscape Explorer's new history feature. Be surfing, remember, Cashew PCs are delicious. Cashew PCs are inedible. Do not try to eat it. Connected. Negotiating connection. Acknowledging. Prepare. Connected. The Roottrees are dead, not to be confused with a similar game called Roottrees Are Born is a video game about a fictional family called the Roottrees, and about discovering their lineage after the Roottrees sisters are killed in a plane crash. The game takes place in Butler County, which is a real county in Pennsylvania, but uses fictional elements such as fake newspaper from the Butler County Times. The creator of the game does not know anyone who lives in Butler County and has never been even lived there. Instead, he just randomly picks somewhere on the map near a metropolitan area that sound reasonable and hope not to somehow accidentally offend the people that actually live there. You're really doing this, are you? Please, bread is so... A game about a fictional family of ducks who duck. Three sons, the Flutely brothers, accidentally offended a witch who turns them into bread. They are then eaten by some other citizens of Duckler County. Quite grim. The president must identify all of the ducks in the area, their lineage, and of course, their occupations, to find them. According to the slogan, which ducks killed the Flutleys? If you're looking for a hint to that game, I heard one of the ducks is a bank robber who goes by the name of the Safeguard. I hope you're happy. I go back to the Roottrees. Butler County is located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Roottrees Candy Company now has its headquarters in the city. The company began on a small farm within the Butler County limits, and the area has a lot of history with the family. Butler County Times is presumably the local paper there. There are likely articles from over the years involving the Roottrees family, and those adjacent to them. It's been automatically added to your periodical search interface. As a side note, the video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in Butler County, and it turns out the creator never lived in or near the Butler County people or even had a connection to Butler County. Mixed in with the recent news of the plane crash, there are a lot of results of Roottrees' extremely popular candy products. The official website is unstable due to the traffic it has been receiving. However, you find a direct link in the history section that manages to work momentarily. The Roottrees Candy Company was founded by Elias Roottree shortly after being married. Wife, Gwyneth. His family owned a small farm called Addison Maple Farms. Welcome to your notepad. On each page, other than this one, you can jot down important information such as names, family, relationships, marital status, sibling count, or anything else you'd like to remember. Page titles can be renamed to make it easier to remember what you've written on each one. Highlight any text in bold point browser or evidence. Quick option to add it to your notes. Entire contents of the notepad are saved even if you quit the game. Don't forget to check them when you return. Siblings, cousins, sometimes referred to as first cousins, people that share the same grandparents but not the same parents. People that share the same great-grandparents but not the same grandparents. People that share the same great-great-grandparents but not the same great-grandparents. K-12, kindergarten through 12th grade, all schooling ages from 5 to 18. Schools produce yearbooks, which are albums of stage photos, suits, typically with solid color or cloudy backgrounds. For reasons that aren't explained on this page, it has no CEO and no stockholders. Instead, it's run by a president with input and votes from extended family. The site does mention that every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Coleridge, despite his death listed as the current. It's listed as the current president. The product that put them on the map for 5 pieces. Maple candies with 5 different flavors that are dipped in a crispy, crackly candy coating. Since then, they have branched out to countless other products, all of which incorporate maple in some way. The sister company, titled Root, specializes in children's clothing. The primary models for Root are the Roottrees sisters. Film the names. Root is a pretty common word, although searches are not case sensitive. If you're searching for something specific, you should keep an eye on how it's spelled and punctuated during the search. For example, clothing always has a period after it, even if it's not at the end of the sentence. Additionally, if you're searching for a name, most of the time you'll need a full name, but sometimes if someone goes by a nickname, searching for their nicknames is the only way to find results. Part of the name is a clothing company. They make clothes for children, from toddlers to teenagers. Although their website is down due to increased web traffic, you find countless retail sites attempting to advertise their clothes towards the target audience. One of them has this to say: "You spy the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly on catalog, magazines, and posters. Now you too can be like Riley, Robes, and Rayna." We also come across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Roottrees has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984. Rayna appeared on almost all of them. There's only one that the webmaster considers a collector item, though. It seems that Brenda Roottree, the Roottrees sisters' mother, and head designer. Discover a trivia page that lists common questions. What are the first names of the famous Roottrees girls? Raina, Carly, and Riley. Apparently, parents had a plan to name a son called Roottrees Jr., but after finding out they were having a second daughter, they called her Carly. Sometime in the early 90s, a now Carly strongly proposed to her, expressed her dislike that her sisters had an RH name, and she was the odd one out. That's when she began to go by her middle name. Carly Roottrees. These few pages are filled with news results about the plane crash. Besides that, accounts, advertisements, and conversations about the various products made by the Roottrees Candy. These articles mention Carl Roottrees as the president of the Roottrees Candy Company. Collectively, they were famous from very early age. Come across an official Roottrees fan site, seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with crumpled text and hard to read until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. Riley is the smart one. You might think they are rich just because they are models, but their dad is also the president of the camera company, and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand Root. They eat Roottrees candy all the time. Favorite are made crisps, and try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley. Plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. So I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Upside's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about Root fashion. It's lines, but none of it is relevant. Glad like Rose. Riley is the plan. Right. And TMS. Common abbreviation for early 90s team heartthrob teammate Amy Mark Sheridan, as Thomas Sheridan was on a soap opera called Time Marches On. Skyrocket into popularity after Star House. Starring Bull for Other Trouble. Soap opera. It was first credited role for Tommy Mark Sheridan. 53 episodes. His character went away to camp. Sorry about that. And Brother Trouble. About Tommy Mark Sheridan and Dustin Christopher Baker. So about Stand Up Penelope Tessa Green. Sharon Baker. Last name was T. Graphic. Tessa Green is a retired comedian. As a result, a Lapland club in Reno that claims got her stand-up start. First did her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s before she was a TV star in Brother Trouble. The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers, doing more family-friendly material. You find a picture labeled Joko Lantern 1997 as well. It's a different picture called Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets. Both have been added to the evidence. Head of R&R Productions. defunct production company responsible for Brother Trouble, you find a comment on Usenet boards stating that Brother Trouble ended up being an ironic name considering the rumors about RR Productions, Ron, and Robbie Rootree. And first, there's not much relevant information about Robbie Rootree and that comment that on this board why was Brother Trouble cancelled. One user speculates. I think it's because the writing went downhill in season 2. I actually had an episode where Roxy was snuffing markers. Maybe it's due to the rumor about Robbie Rootree, the Silver Scream magazine. There's like some kind of article. He was dead. Hollywood Insiders magazine, focusing less on actors and actresses, more about the nitty-gritty of writing, directing, costuming, set design, film production, and other elements.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired. The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The Roottrees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine. The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives. Anyone related only by marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries. Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable Roottrees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree. I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives. Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Rootrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Well, that's certainly something. time you get 3. Don't blame nepotism if its results. Paris with his once famous mother. Rumors article, 1992, claims that self-taught television screenwriter Abby Roottrees is allegedly tried and convicted under the name Robert in the French court of law. Seems he again allegedly embezzled the company RR Productions, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, then fled to Paris where he grew up. Continues. Assaulted an officer who came to question him. Uncle's author says they were unable to get a statement from French authorities, but received information from an anonymous source and were able to confirm through public record that there was a trial involving Robert Roottrees around the time the brothers struggled with cancer. Okay. Sorry about that. Died recently. Plane crash with his wife, Brenda Roottrees, their daughters. Co-founded with his wife. Every year they offer an award on businessmen. Lies Roottrees. Okay, it said it said great grandfather. Father, grandfather, great grandfather. Tree. Photo of him appears to be on the cover are corporate leaders. Chose not for his work at the Roottrees Candy, but rather the clothing company Root. There's a brief history. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Brenda was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Carl's cousin Jim. Little singer who had a young daughter. Practice patterns were being copied by other brands. See, the man Carl is his second cousin. Second cousin became second cousin. While the same company's finances used to fund anything other than cows, Carl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. Profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment, and now he exists under the umbrella of the candy company, and they all benefit. Per traditional, or perhaps superstition, was always debuted the way the first ones did, and it became their catalog's cover model. As she grew the product line, expanded to older kids as well. Her younger sisters were and recruited shop related clothes. Carl's photo option of the year for personal gamble and ensuing payoff. Lives. Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year. Business 1936. Painting appears on the cover. The magazine says it's voted Watchman of the Year specifically for recognize the global roll on 5 pieces. After marrying his wife and prepared to make the farm during the period of 5 pieces. The company is barely profitable. As a daughter and the first of 5 children. 4 more to follow. That's 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of 5 children, 1 flavor per child. The 5 pieces are first sold in some Pittsburgh markets. The 5 pieces are rolled out in New England with a new recipe. By was finalized, and it gets nationwide distribution in department stores. There's available maple farm in Pennsylvania. Preparation for the global rollout. With the help of his son Elias Roottrees Jr.'s architecture firm, worldwide. There's also a What's Next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy. And the Roottrees Candy Company remains a family business, plans to do so with the Lanced Trust. Lanced Trust, pronounced Clanced Trust, is a highly unusual corporate arrangement named after Clancy Edward Roottrees, who is Elias' son. Candy Company's head lawyer. Unique nature is often brought up online discussions about financial matters and inheritance, as in an audit. The company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. An account created for each blood relative at birth and first accessible when they reach 18. Actual numbers have never fully been disclosed to the public, but due to the ever-increasing success of the company, it is a significant amount of money. The Clanced Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. Still, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. information you discover is from a university law school in which had a guest lecture talk about Roottrees versus RR. Now, check that. The 5-piece guarantee, which went into effect at the same time. Five-piece guarantee, in combination with the Clancy Trust, was Elias Roottree's attempt to ensure that the Roottree Company would remain a family business for eternity. In isolation, it is somewhat baffling. The yearly salary of Roottree's president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5-piece. The 5-piece guarantee went into effect. It was 25 cents a year. Now it's close to $4. Combined with the Clancy Trust, however, makes it a bit more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president, and he knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they would have vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and successful as possible. Whether or not this was a smart, successful decision is widely debated both online and in person by economic enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. Most results are from the 40s and 50s, but occasionally more recent references creep in. Context, it's clear that it allows the entire Roottrees family to earn money based on profits from the candy company. Clancy Edward Roottree. Lies appeared in other County Times quite often. Most everything you find in the first few pages results in us same things. Social events as well, but she's not actually moving speaker except in that context. Well, County Times had consistent as demonstration of first-hand made farm for a very long time. This goes over so often in section about things to do in Butler County. It seems that twice each summer the Roottrees came company's burning, plentiful farming, is casual. Besides Butler County to demonstrate how 5 pieces were made at the beginning of the country. Demonstration provides 3 samples of the original 5 flavors. They cost quite a lot to tag and sell out every time, so the Butler County Times recommends game tastes the moment they go on sale. As players do not have any other info and the farm offers discounts for 2 days. need some information firsthand on some maple flower. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Eliza Gwyneth. That photo was added to your evidence. Forbearing Elias, Gwyneth Roottrees was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit Anders Maple, so long as she married. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias's idea to create candy instead. The success was not immediate until they decided to bind the maple with other flavors, and this led to 5-piece, which are still found in stores to this day. Though Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it's been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to its website, still daily demonstrations. Housework. Picture on the internet. Brenda White. Oh yeah. Marketing materials and various candy history sites. Around 5 pieces are iconic candy sold to Roottrees Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. Small, colorful shell coating. Only have one flavor, but it's more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have 5 flavors, but the shape and combination for maple have remained consistent. A 5-piece advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2. Yep. As part of a book series of all things candy in the modern world, starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as visioned by experts in 1985. But in hindsight, clearly see they got everything wrong. Bad evidence. blast. Magazine aimed at teenage girls. Looks like its news section offers condolences from the loss of Roottrees sisters. Assuming that daughter is Gwen. Forward? My grandpa was a college professor. Okay, so practice that lecture a lot because I have other people in my family that also famous for things besides candy. His older sister even wrote a book, and some of my friends tell me they had to read in school. Later. Took his advice and now I put my mom designing clothes. Let's see. Run, Mary Penelope. Oh wait. Very few details about this particular incident. Legal items website. RR attempt unsuccessful. Remove a felon family member from the trust. It was said that RR attempted two arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to the ironclad wording of the client's trust, it was impossible to remove any direct descent. Last retreat without possibly completely dissolving the trust. There's no additional information online. See you on MMM. Damn, I see you J and J and D with my cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpa insisted he'd spend time with my dad, with me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers, Diamond and Jane. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters. So the Forest had sort of a cutesy family band thing going on. How'd I find this out? Regardless, Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her younger sister. Things exploded. No more family band. The only thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then we never agreed on what it should be. It's always more just catchy tunes. Sometimes you hum a week later. I've been told Roland is like that, but that was my goal. He called me up and said he liked it. I took it as a sign I was going in the wrong direction of music. That made him laugh. I'm trying to make art. I don't mind saying any of his business. He'd agree. For most of the decade, he was a mess, and he's a lot happier now. Started rapping tunes. He's much better jingle writer than a songwriter. The set of that famous family is a massive company willing to be a client. It's also how my father was connected to Roottrees. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls over the record player. I was never interested. I just went straight for the music, as Clark was paying more attention. Below that, more detail. C and J and D these times. Scanned the cover and noted that it cost him over $200 at auction. Apparently this was Jim Roottrees' Diamond LaRose. Diamond LaRose, her song. Apparently it was else mentioned that it was from Jim's cousin, Diamond's sister. That it was somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. Anything else about Dazzler, the band, or the single. So all that's left to do is add the scanty evidence, enter Blazing Data Fed, and download the track is also available. JD. Clark Rafferty. Band Jim and Diamond seemed to mention they used to make music. It's getting a bit late. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribing that bell. See you all next time. The Vault. Peace.